What's the deal, y'all? What's the deal, y'all? What's the deal, y'all? Rich Rapper tapping in 10 in Trap News Network. We back with another weekly wrap-up brought to you by Live Hip Hop Daily, Junkie Cartel. I got some news you can use. I got some knowledgeito you're not finna get in nobody's collegeito. Let's slide into our first story. For those of y'all who've been following this no jumper universe of ours, Poetic Flakko got everybody, and when I say everybody, I mean everybody, all the way upset. Today, Flakko dropped a documentary where he is breaking down the untimely demise of LA rapper Drako the Ruler. For those of you guys who don't know, Drako the Ruler was unalived, because we can't say that other word on YouTube, but Drako the Ruler was unalived at a Once Upon a Time in LA festival, I believe it was called, a few years ago in Los Angeles, California. Now, Drako the Ruler is the only rapper in history to ever have been unalived at an actual show. It didn't happen after the show. It actually happened backstage where he was into a scuffle with another group of individuals, and he was poked in the neck, and at that point, he did meet his demise at the concert. Now, you have Flakko, Poetic Flakko right there. He's a no jumper host, and as everybody says, no jumper might be the police, blah, blah, blah. But he's breaking down this whole murder case by case, as you can see that he is right there with his red bandana, making a mockery of the Bloods, who he is alleging are responsible for the death of Drako the Ruler, giving you the who, the what, the when, the where, the why, and the how this situation has come about. Now, you kind of wonder, how does MUNCHIE B have, fit into this situation? MUNCHIE B fits into this situation when he says this.
Bro, the nigga that killed Drako, I passed the bottle back and forth to him all the time. What are we talking about? Bro, Drako is dead, bro.
Yeah, now that's right. You hear MUNCHIE B talking about how he passed the bottle to Drako the Ruler's unaliver all the time. Now, this is where that gets tricky at. This is an unsolved murder. This is what was once upon a time a cold case, but since, you passing the bottle to the person who did it, it might lead the police to ask questions of who this person is. Now, I'm not saying he did. I ain't saying he didn't. I'm not saying he's trolling. I'm not saying he's not. All I'm saying is, why would you continue to put yourself in a situation where the police who want to look at you for the unaliving or anything to do with the unaliving of LA rap star and, dealing with this cold case? Now, again, I'm not saying that the police be at no jumper. Look, I ain't saying the police be at no jumper, but what I am saying is, niggas over there keep going to jail, bro. So I'm just saying you might want to stay away from whatever's going on. Stop drinking the water that's, clout water, whatever's going on over at No Jumper, because it continues to lead people going to jail. So you want to see more about this, go ahead and check out what Flakko has going on his page. But with that all being said, we do want to send our love, our prayers, and our condolences to the family of Drako the Ruler. And it's crazy how the situation has come up about 5 years later, and maybe not, the police will come to an end and to a resolution of what happened with the situation. But Jeff, let's keep going to the next story. Now, random, don't ever let the situation with Drako the Ruler and MUNCHIE B distract you from the fact that you have WACK 100 walking around with kitty corn on the cob in his phone. There's a situation where he's on No Jumper, Jeff. That's what you got to say. You got to be aware, kitty corn on the cob, because if you say other stuff, then you will get demonetized, all that kind of stuff. It's a way you got to maneuver these 1-2 steps like Sierra. Jeff, we have to take this situation serious, because we have WACK 100 walking around, and he's telling Adam 22 that he will send him the link to Tania's 15-year-old daughter's underage adult content. Now, you have Adam 22 looking at WACK like, bro, what's up with you? He's kind of disgusted with him, looking at him like he's a piece of the POS, we'll just say that. But it just leads you to kind of wonder, with all these things going on in our universe, why are we not making more of a big deal of this grown man walking around with the link to a 15-year-old girl's adult content on his phone and offering to share said link to other adult males and all that kind of stuff? Now, we do want to highlight that Adam 22 did, make it abundantly clear that he did not want to see that link. He wasn't approving of WACK having that link, but let's never let all the situations in the world take away from the fact that that guy right there is walking around with some 69 God type material on his phone, and that's probably never okay. That all being said, let's keep it going to the next one. Speaking of what is going on in the universe and what's going on in the world, for those of you guys who don't know, Pooh Shiesty, Memphis rapper Pooh Shiesty, has recently been released from, was he in the feds or was he in regular jail? I guess jail is jail, like does it matter, regular state penitentiary? He was in the feds. So he was in a federal penitentiary because he decided to have firearms in a deal where he was buying sneakers, but he had the money for the sneakers, but instead of buying the sneakers, he robbed the dude selling the sneakers, and then he shot him like in the ass or something. But regardless of the fact, that happened, and then he shot his gun off in the club. So that's where I got my own fire, don't need security in the club comes from, because, he had his own fire, he didn't need security in the club. And that happened, so he goes to the feds, and then he gets out of the feds, and then he kidnaps Gucci Mane. Trust me, I'm not making any of this up. Somebody's looking like, what, Gucci Mane? Yes, he kidnaps Gucci Mane, Mr. Bird 1017 himself, Lemonade, you know what I'm saying? Gucci, with everybody. Gucci. That Gucci man, yeah, he kidnaps him, whoops the cameraman, beats up the security guard who is an off-duty police officer, and they take his Rolex, his ring, and hold him hostage with an AK-47 style pistol and force him to release Pooh Shiesty from the 1017 record label deal that he was a part of, when Pooh Shiesty probably could have just gave him 4 or 5 more albums, and that could have been done by the end of next summer. And I pretty much get that all the way right. So I'm not sure again why the situation went to that. I'm not sure again why the situation went so Grand Theft Auto. But again, kids, I just want to make it abundantly clear that sometimes drug usage does affect your thinking skills, your motor skills, and your decision making. You can't tell me that this right here, this story that I just gave you, is somebody who's not smoking dope, bro. This nigga's getting high. Like, excuse me, I know that we're supposed to be professional right here, but this nigga's getting high. This nigga right here, he's getting high. Everybody in the hood, no, let's do it black. We're gonna just do it for the culture one time. He's a dope fiend, bro. Like, that's junkie behavior. You can't tell me that he was sober when he made this decision. And if you're sober when if this is your rational, sober decision making, nigga, you deserve to be in jail because you're an animal and you got things going on that are just beyond the thought process and the comprehension of the regular day-to-day general public. So that all being said, I would normally say free Pooh Shiesty, but in this type of situation, I think we should keep that nigga. Y'all don't free Pooh Shiesty. Keep that nigga where he's at, because why did you do that? And he hasn't even been out of jail for like 6 months. Like, it hasn't even been a solid year yet. And he's back for kidnapping. Okay, so this is where things get tricky at. 50 Cent is maintaining that Gucci Mane is snitching on Pooh Shiesty. So 50 Cent says him to the effect of, not the man that said we smoking on Pookie Loc, you know, snitching and all that kind of stuff. Now, Gucci Mane is maintaining that he's not snitching, and it's the fact that Pooh Shiesty has, you know, pistol whipped and drew down on a security guard who's an off-duty police officer, as well as a cameraman who's an unsuspecting white person, basically. And, you know, that's what leads to the situation. You see on the internet, you can see the pictures of the white guy that's here with the lacerations around his neck, you know, all that kind of stuff. And it's just like, well, yeah, that can make sense to how we ended up in a situation where this is overall cause and effect. But that all being said, man, again, we're not going to say free Pooh Shiesty with this one. Just go ahead and keep Pooh Shiesty, because this nigga right here is an animal. Animals belong in cages. Let's keep going to the next story, Jeff. Man, so for those of you guys who don't know, Brandy, that's right, Moesha, has been making waves. And she came out and she said at 16, her virginity was taken by, that's the nigga Wanye. I don't know if that's, y'all know all the characters, Boys and Men, but it's like 3 of them, right? It's 3 of them, Boys and Men, there's 3 of them. 4 of them? Oh, there are 4 boys who became men. Okay, I thought it was 3 boys who became men. Okay, so there are 4 boys who became men, and we don't know. I'm not even gonna sit here and front like I know all the members of the niggas. One of them niggas was named Wanye, and Wanye was 22 years old, and while Wanye was 22 years old, he took Brandy's virginity and she was 16. Brandy is, you know, making it abundantly clear that she was uncomfortable with it. Yes, it was consensual at the time, but as now she's being a grown woman, she's maintaining and, you know, going with the fact that it probably wasn't the best decision. She was coerced. She was immature. She was taken advantage of. She was naive. And, you know, Wanye decided to get his freak on. But in addition to that, Wanye was getting his freak on. You have a situation where Kobe Bryant is recorded of punching Wanye. That's right, Kobe Bean Bryant, who was known to have dated Brandy in the early 90s, of the days when she wanted to be down with what he was going through with Moesha. Call what I did there, don't worry about it if you didn't. Over your head like a wave cap. Kobe Bryant punched Wanye because he was, you know, I guess a little grabby, a little hands-on, a little too flirty with Brandy. So after that situation take place, you know, you got Brandy, you know, going through that situation. Hey, what's going on with Brandy? So you got Mace, you got Kobe Bryant, you got Shine, you got the Wanye nigga. Hey, I don't know what Brandy had going on in the 90s where they had all these niggas on stuck, but she obviously had it going on, nigga. Moesha was a hot commodity over there in the late to early 90s, you feel me? Little 2000s and all that kind of stuff. But with that all being said, man, I'm not sure why so many predatorial, you know, situations and set of circumstances going on in the world. But parents, keep a good eye on your kids, man, whether it be your daughters, whether it be your sons. Focus on the people around them. Make sure that you around, to see who their friends are, see who, they around as far as their friends' parents and blah, blah, blah. Don't just present your kids out here all willy-nilly, because I've given y'all 2 stories here at TNN Trap News Network where you have adults being predatory towards children, and that is never okay. Now, Trap News Network, we always got to protect them kids, man. Trap News Network, we love the kids. That all being said, let's slide into this last story. And you have Drewski versus white people. For those of you guys who don't know, Drewski has been getting into it with not just one white person, all person. What's her name? Catherine Kirk? What's her name? Caitlin Kirk? Karen Kirk? Erica Kirk? One of the Kirk, which I don't know. She's Charlie Kirk's wife. Sister? Wife? So you got Drewski getting it. Keep all that. We got Drewski getting into it with Charlie Kirk's wife because honestly, she's out here, just being like a kind of a typical white person. You feel me? Like, white people do things that white people do, and we're just like, With that all being said, I don't want to give too much of my personal opinion. Jeff, we're going to roll the clip of Drewski, giving his, I don't want to say imitation of Erica Kirk, because then that insinuates or that says that Drewski is picking on a person as opposed to just making a general statement about a group of people who are just typically known to be a little bit less seasoned with their approach to life. But let's go into the clip.
This skit was edgy at worst and quite accurate at best. Drewski was only able to make this content because she performed it first. Let's go over the skit part by part so you can see what I mean. The skit starts with Drewski hitting the stage dressed as Erica Kirk. He's in the mask, the wig, and those blue contacts. At a glance, he does look like a slightly heavier Erica. We see him dancing in front of sprinklers while music plays. This was a direct callback to the moment Erica walked out with a full pyrotechnic show, waving at the crowd and smiling like it was a sold-out show at the Garden. To many, it seemed too performative, and people quickly compared it to a WWE superstar's entrance. Drewski embodied this to a T. The same personality shifts between smiling and frowning from one second to the next, and the over-the-top pyrotechnics and loud music that made it all feel like a concert. So, as ridiculous as this video is, it was a spot-on reenactment.
And there you have it, man. But this situation has gone further because now you have Donald Trump jumping into the mix, and when Drewski gets into it with Donald Trump, all we want to say is, brother, you have made it to the big times. Drewski is a global phenomenon, and with a potential World War III on the brink with Russia, we have our president, commander-in-chief, Donald Trump, getting into it with Drewski. Because in America, we care about what matters the most, entertainment. That all being said, man, we up out here to the next one. This has been another Trap News Network weekly update, weekly wrap-up, Trap News Network weekly wrap-up brought to you by Live Hip Hop Daily and Junkie Cartel. I'm up out of here to the next one. We're Trapper signing out. We are gone.